Good morning, 11:30 in the morning, February 28th. How are you? Leap day tomorrow. Very exciting. And too exciting in weather yesterday. So we'll talk about that and then we'll get into the forecast, which is not nearly as wild as things did get yesterday. We'll start with the Smokehouse Creek fire in Texas. This is an amazing shot yesterday from the GOES 16 satellite as the cold front was barreling out of Kansas through the Oklahoma Panhandle and approaching the wildfires in the Texas Panhandle. And you can see one spark up in the Oklahoma Panhandle right when the front hits. The Smokehouse Creek fire now has burned over 500,000 acres. Thousands of people evacuated, have no idea the property damage. I haven't heard of any fatalities, thankfully, but we are praying for the folks in the Texas Panhandle from yesterday's wildfires. And we had some tornadoes in the Midwest yesterday, 11 tornado reports. Mostly there in Ohio, a couple in Michigan, and some in northern Illinois, one not far from Chicago. You see 59 wind reports, including those in the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, 47 hail reports, meaning hail over 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And so it was a rockin' day yesterday. Things much calmer today. Here are the watches and warnings across the country today, and it's a lot of wind east coast and all the way down into Texas as that front continues to press southward. We do have a high fire danger now for South Texas. That's south of San Antonio, it looks like, and almost to Corpus Christi, Portland along the coast. But places like Beeville, for example, red flag warning today. And then that wind, those wind advisories go all the way up into Michigan. We do have some heavy rain in West Virginia area, some flooding watches there, flood warnings in a couple places too on the Ohio Valley in the Ohio border with West Virginia and also Kentucky. In the West Coast, we have another storm system moving in the Pacific Northwest, some low snow levels here. You see in Northwest Oregon, that white area, no watches, no warnings for the Willamette Valley. It's going to be rain for you, but you're surrounded. Winter storm warnings to your south and to your east. And looks like a winter weather advisory for the Oregon Coast Range to your west. Further north in the Evergreen State, it's winter storm warnings for the Cascades and Olympics, with a flood watch for the lower elevations around Seattle, Tacoma, down to Olympia, and to the coast. Further inland, we're looking at winter storm watches for Wyoming and Idaho, parts of Nevada, and into Montana. We're looking at winter storm watches. So a lot going on in the west. We'll outline that for you here in just a second as well. Here's your surface map for today, and that shows what we just showed you, which is the heavy snow in the Pacific Northwest. Further south in New Mexico, Arizona, we've got thunderstorms along the Mexican border. And then further north, it's a mix of rain and snow for Arizona and New Mexico, and Texas with a little bit of rain for West Texas down into the Permian Basin and points south to the Big Bend. For the East Coast, it's thunderstorms or a mix of rain and snow. Further to the north and behind the cold front, it's snow, Wisconsin and Michigan. Today's highs, yeah, the cold front blew through here yesterday. Is crazy. This morning it was 9. The wind chill was 10 below, and it was 75 degrees the day before. And today's high about freezing where I live in western Iowa, and north of me, temperatures will stay below freezing today. But it's still hot ahead of the front. Now the front moving through Texas, and we showed you, some of those red flag warnings still in effect for southern Texas, like San Antonio south. But San Antonio still on the warm side, 70 today, but further north it's 50s across Texas. And then as you get into the East Coast, we got 80s for Florida, 70s for much of the south, all the way into North Carolina. And so warm temperatures ahead of the front for the East Coast. And still 50s right now, Oregon and Washington, but that's fixing to change as we go to our surface tomorrow. Here comes the system and associated cold front. A mixture even for the lowest elevations, Oregon, Washington, Northern California, into Nevada, Idaho, Montana. Heavy snows for the mountainous areas. Good news, New Mexico, Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, a mixture of rain and snow, but that moisture will be nice. And also for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, some rain. Into Tennessee, you too, and in the south, some thunderstorms, Mississippi, Louisiana, East Texas. And it's snow up in New York and the Canadian side of the Great Lakes. And then Friday, things progress eastward as you might expect. Thunderstorms, Kentucky southward. It's regular rain for North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, into Pennsylvania, and a mix for parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, and the Appalachians there. West Coast, it's a big storm. Heavy snows for some areas, mostly with a little bit of elevation, not a lot of elevation. It's going to be snow and lots of it, and a mixture for the Willamette Valley, low elevations of western Washington as well. And all that gets into California, heavy snow for the Sierra Nevada, even into Reno, it looks like, and heavy snow for Northern California as well. So how does that look on our GFS model? Well, let's take a look. Right now we have this line of showers and storms moving through West Virginia into Virginia, Tennessee out of Kentucky, and a few thunderstorms even in Alabama and Mississippi. And then we see the beginnings of our storm here in the Pacific Northwest with rain along the coast and some snows now moving into the Cascades of Washington. This is noon Central Time, so just 20 minutes from now or so. You see that line of showers and storms moving eastward. Some of these could be severe here and there. Straight line winds, the biggest threat, winds gusting over 60. For some, where there is severe weather, we're not looking for tornadoes from this line. So that is good. Maybe some large hail, though. Big storm moving into the Pacific Northwest makes progress as we get into tonight and then into tomorrow. The East Coast storm is gone. Cold air spilling in behind it for the Northeast, but warm air pushing into the Midwest, where today it's cold, but it's not going to last long. And then our system diving into the Pacific Northwest, low elevation snows, rain at the very lowest levels, but even then mixing with snow and perhaps even sticking overnight. Heavy snows for Northern California, moving into the Sierra Nevada. This is Thursday morning. And as we go through the day Thursday, you can see, looks like another cold front lining up here with heavy snows coming down Idaho, Montana, also Oregon, Washington, California, heavy snow in the Sierra Nevada. This is almost Friday morning. There we go. Friday morning, midnight, Thursday night, midnight, Friday morning, midnight, however you slice it. Showers and storms starting to bust out Louisiana, Mississippi, into Tennessee, and those increase. So some locally heavy rainfall here into Mississippi and Alabama. Snows and heavy snows continue along the Oregon Cascades into Northern California, the Sierra Nevada. This is Friday noontime, Central Time, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. Heavy snow, Sierra Nevada, Friday afternoon and evening. Showers and storms moving through the South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia getting in on a little bit of that. So is Florida. And then as we go through time, that area mostly moving out, but still some heavy rain, even here in Maryland and Delaware as we get into the day on Saturday. Some lingering showers for the Northeast, some showers for the Sunshine State, of course. And then across the West, it's scattered snow mostly, even low elevations of Oregon and Washington. In Northern California, heavy snow continues for the Sierra Nevada. But as you can tell, interesting weather for sure. It's always interesting to me. But, none of that really severe stuff or life-threatening stuff. So that is the good news. Just, it's moving into springtime. So we're getting everything, right? You see this bubble of high pressure moving into the center of the country, warm temperatures. The trough in the west bringing cold temperatures, scattered snows. And the East Coast getting a break here as we move late into the weekend. This is Sunday now. And that cold air starting to move now through the northern plains into the Midwest. So it looks like I'll be cooling off with a chance of snow as we get into Sunday midnight, early Monday morning, if this comes exactly true. We're still a few days away from that. Another system for the Pacific Northwest, heavy snows for the Cascades into Northern California. And as we get through the weekend, we see some more showers and storms scattered about the south. It is, like I said, approaching springtime, so this is not unusual, and this is not severe, so nothing to worry about here. But some cold temperatures sinking into the northern plains and Midwest as we get into next week. And lingering snows are really another system moving into Oregon, Washington, Northern California, Idaho getting more snow. So, as El Nino also will be going away, we're going to look for a La Nina to reform. And so normally late in the winter, El Ninos are warm in the Pacific Northwest. That's been a little bit different this February, as they've had quite a few storms with some low elevation snows. And of course, once you get on the other side of the Cascades, it's been mostly snow. And that will continue, it looks like, as we get into Tuesday now. We're almost a week out, so again, our uncertainty goes down as we go out further in time, but you see more showers and storms, heavy rain, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, more heavy snow for the Sierra Nevada, and more snow for Nevada. And looks like maybe some thunderstorms here in Iowa as we get all the way into Thursday. All right, here are your trends on your temperatures for the 8 to 14 day outlook. Cold west and warm east, as we've been showing you. That's the way it's been, and it looks like that's the way it's going to stay for a while. This going through the 12th of March. And then as we look at our precipitation chances are good across most of the country, the exception northern plains, where it should be drier than usual. So prayers for the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, places that they've had wildfires and evacuations, lots of property damage. So prayers there. Otherwise, it looks like the worst is over and you're just going to have your regular springtime type weather across the country. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for tuning in. The Weather Mike. We'll talk to you soon.